super stoner like myself, smoke responsibly. The man, the myth, the legend, Tommy Chong. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. Very well.
All my life is like some fucking bad luck. But look, no.
Is that snow?
Yes, snow, man.
Woo! I thought that was water.
No, that's snow, man.
It's for lazy
What is that
stoners.
called? What is that called? That's just
It's a blower.
blower.
I
That
don't know,
one
man.
is pretty. God damn.
Hood busting, it's vultures, the snakes. I'm masked up, so
Let me tell you a
I
little
think-
bit about 420-365 and what we stand
Okay.
for. What we do is we're a lifestyle brand. We pretty much just promoting positivity. You know, stoners can still be productive in society and maintain. We're creative. We're more than just a stigma of, you know, just getting high and doing dumb shit. And I'm truly, truly humbled to be here with you today. We got an icon, entertainment royalty, cannabis culture royalty, a film star, director, music star, writer, art collector, painter, super stoner like myself. The man, the myth, the legend, Tommy Chong. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. Very well.
That's great.
Got all my shots. I'm good to go now.
Did you get the vaccine?
Yeah, I got the stamp of approval now. Now I can go into stores, and I still got my mask on, but at least
Yeah, for sure. Definitely mask up.
Yeah, got everything. I'm good.
Yeah, man. I'm doing well too. I want to start.
Where are you at now? Right?
I'm in the Midwest.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's snow? Is that snow?
Yeah, snow, man.
Woo! I thought that was water.
No, that's snow, man.
Is that a lake? Is that a lake?
That is a lake back there. Yeah, that's a lake back there. You can't go. I wouldn't go ice skating on it though. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't suggest that at all.
You see those idiots in Texas, or no? Was it New York?
I think it's in Texas, man. Shout out to people in Texas. We hope they get.
They're skating. They're skating on that thin ice, and next thing you know, poof, they go in
straight through it. Yeah, I wouldn't approve that at all.
I grew up in the cold, and the lesson you learn is to find ways to stay out of the cold.
Yes, sir.
That was what we used to do, you know.
You I want to take it back. So you're originally from Canada, correct?
Yeah, Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Yep.
Tell me a little bit about Calgary, man. What was it like growing up there?
I
know it's cold.
I didn't know it at the time, but it was probably one of the most racist places on the globe.
Man.
I didn't know it. I didn't know it at the time, because when you grow up amongst it's just like another jungle. You just understand where you can go, where you can't go.
Sure.
And there was nothing for anybody to do, so we made our own entertainment. And then when I got hooked up with the band, wow, we were the big boys on the block, you know, because we had the first rhythm and blues band in Canada. And so
Bobby Taylor and the Vancouvers.
No, it was the Shades originally.
Okay.
Yeah, we were all.
Why the Shades? Colors. I know that's interesting.
Yeah. We're all different colors. We had a American native, red skin. Me, light skin, and then
light skin. You like
Tommy.
I'm light now. No, Tommy, I'm light skin. You're not like you. All right, whatever. Go ahead.
and Tommy Milton, the lead singer, he was black, and he was from there's a tribe that went when the slavery was ended in the States. There's a group of them, probably the church. They were all together, and they looked at the map, and they wanted to see the furthest place away from Texas that was civilization. Yeah. And it was Edmonton, Alberta. And so they got a wagon train, and they headed up to Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Now, when they got to Edmonton, they weren't allowed to stop in the city. That's how racist Canada was. And so they went further north to a little place called Amber Valley. and that's where they multiplied, stayed a farmer, learned music, and Tommy, the singer, he was a star football player.
Okay.
And he could have made the pros, but he got into singing and he hurt his knee, and so that was my first group. That was my first group. But oh man, I'm gonna write a book about it because it was so exciting. Because our band was all got like football players, and so we never had any problem as far as rednecks bugging us, because we'd actually instigate it, just to get a little fun going. But anyway, and then I ended up in Vancouver, and then we ended up with a singer named Bobby Taylor. Bobby Taylor, and he was the one that got us signed to Motown, and he was the one that I was with him when we discovered the Jackson 5. That was our claim to fame. And
how was that night? How was it that night? Did you know you were looking at star in the making? That you did?
Yes, he was a little bitty guy.
Yeah,
he used to get an empty Coke case and stand on it and stand in the mirror and
pick out his little fro.
Pick out his fro,
That's crazy.
He was crazy. He was the oldest 10-year-old I ever met in my life.
Wow.
He's from Gary, Indiana, from the ghetto, and so when you're 8, 9 years old, you're a little man. You're grown. Right. You're grown. You got all the attributes of a grown man, and he did. And he used to copy Jackie Wilson for singing and dancing. And so when we met Michael, he was a star right off the bat, and we knew it. Wow. And so we took him. Bobby took him to Detroit with Bobby. The whole family stayed with Bobby, and then my family moved down. I was married to a black lady named Maxine.
Really?
And Maxine,
black lady, Tommy?
Yes. I got two children, two girls. Really? Radon Chong, the famous actress. That's my daughter. That's my oldest daughter. And then Robbie, she was a model in Paris. Yeah, two beauties. And so they all moved to Detroit.
Yeah.
and they actually all stayed with Bobby for a few days. And so I can safely say that my daughter slept with Michael Jackson.
Oh shit. That was pretty good. So what year was that? You remember what year was that?
1968.
68.
Yeah.
My mom wasn't even born yet. My mom was born in 69.
Yeah, 68. 68. So I've been around for a while, man.
What the single y'all had, Does Your Mama Know About Me?
Yeah, I wrote it. I wrote the words.
You wrote that?
Yeah, I wrote the words. I'm a poet.
I was gonna ask you who wrote that.
Yeah, I wrote the words, and then Tom Baird, a guy from Vancouver, he put it to music, and he wrote the bridge too. That's Diana Ross loved that song. She recorded it, put it on her album.
Did she?
In fact, we inspired Love Child. You know that song Love Child that she did after?
I feel like I should know it. I don't know, but I feel like I should know that shit. That's Diana Ross and the Supreme. I should know.
Yeah, Love Child, and then Papa Was a Rolling Stone. We were the first group to break out into the racial aspect of life. So Does Your Mama Know About Me was very very important. In those days,
the lyrics were striking. They were listening to it now, I'm kind of a cynic, so they were kind of funny to me, listening to it. But I'm sure it had a different, meaning back then.
Big time.
So y'all signed to Motown, y'all met the Jacksons. So around the time, when did you leave? And how'd you feel about music? Did you ever have you ever fallen out of music? Falling out of loving music? Like what?
Yeah. Well, what happened? As soon as we got with Motown, we toured with Diana Ross, And the Chitlin circuit, we went all down south and that. And we rode the bus, you know, like the old days, you know, sleep sitting up. And then Motown took Bobby by himself. Actually, what's his name? Smokey Robinson wrote some songs for Bobby, and so they separated us. And so then
I was wondering like how that worked.
Yeah. Then I ended up. We were part of a band that was backing up Chris Clark, one of Berry Gordy's girlfriends, and I had to get. You know, we both got. All the Vancouvers, we got deported out of Detroit because we never had the right proper green card, and so I arranged with Motown to get my green card. And the thing is, when you deal with immigration, when they have an appointment for you, you have to be there, and if you don't, they'll just put you on the back burner.
So did you make the meeting?
Did what?
Did you make the meeting? Did you make yours?
Oh yeah. And what happened? I was supposed to be playing a gig with Chris Clark in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and so I had to miss the gig, you know. And I told the road manager, you know, I said I'm not going to be here, and he said, well, if you miss a gig, you know, you're fired. And I didn't even talk to him because, you know, I never had a boss in my life practically until, and so I just ignored him. And so I went and got my green card. Then I come back to the gig and I was fired. He actually fired me. And so I got my guitar and my girlfriend and I went back to Detroit. And then I decided, you know, I saw a movie called Alice B. Toklas. It was a real cheap movie house, you know, 50-cent movie. And so it was midnight and I went and seen this movie and I saw California, you know, sunshine and beautiful. And I'm in Detroit, it's raining, snow and everything. And I thought, well, you know, I got no reason to stay here. So let's go to California. In the meantime, I had a nightclub. In Vancouver, so I had income coming in. I didn't have to worry about working. And so Berry Gordy called me up and he says, "You're oh, by the way, it was a mistake. You're not fired." And I told Barry, I said, "I think I'm going to stay fired." And he said, "I said I want to be. I want to become a Berry Gordy. I don't want to work for one." And he said, "I totally understand that. I respect that." And he gave me a nice.
I don't want to work for Berry Gordy. I want to be Berry Gordy.
Yeah, and so he gave me a nice severance pay. You know, give me $5,000, and I was happy. And so we went to L.A. and then I ended up going up to the clubs in Vancouver. And then but instead of music, I started. We owned two clubs. We had a strip club, so I turned the strip club into an improvisational acting club. And theater. And that's where I met Cheech.
I was going to ask you that. Where'd you meet Cheech, man?
Yeah, it was in Vancouver. He was up there dodging the draft.
Yeah.
and we both of us, you know, had been in bands, you know, and so we started a band together. And then but we did comedy first. We did about 8-9 months of comedy, and so we had good comedy chops. And so instead of playing music, it was a battle of the bands, and we went on and just did our act and never played a note, and we won the battle of the bands.
Yeah. Now you're a writer, so like I know comedy and like your writing style kind of goes hand in hand. So were you naturally just funny? Did you think you were always gonna be did you want to be a comic? Did you have like routines or shit or?
Never thought of it. I over the years playing in a band, you know, you get on the mic to say, make some announcements or say, this is our last tune, you know, or we're going to take an intermission. That was the only talking I ever did on the mic. And half the time I didn't even talk there. I never talked. You know, I was in a band with a lot of soul brothers, so I never had a chance.
You know, all them brothers was talking. You know, they gonna hold it down. They gonna hold that shit down.
You know what I'm saying, man. You know what I'm saying. But what I did, but being quiet and just watching. And then you know, back in the day, we played. I was, you know, I had a nightclub, and it was in the black neighborhoods. You always had a floor show. Ladies and gentlemen, floor show time. You know, everybody quit dancing, sit down, okay, and then they would bring up, you know, a comic, a dancer, you know, a special act, whatever. Always a comedian. And so I grew up from really early age, you know, watching, you know, like Red Fox and people like that. And so I always had a comedic side of me. And so then when Cheech and I started doing it for real, then it all came out. And, you know, it all paid off.
What was the first movie you guys wrote? What was the first one y'all did? You remember?
Up in Smoke.
Up in Smoke was the first one.
Up in Smoke, yeah, it was the very first.
That was my favorite one.
And it was our biggest hit. It was our biggest hit.
Y'all had the scene where I was in the car and you pulled out the big super doobie on him, and he wasn't ready for it. It was like, oh shit, y'all smoked it down. And what'd you say? You had Maui Wowie and Labrador in it too. Hey, that was had me crying, man.
Our whole act was really consisted of me torturing Cheech.
Yeah, that's crazy. I got a homie like that. We just go back and forth. We talk shit about each other all day long.
Oh, I know, so much fun. Yeah. So much fun, man. I always had a friend. I always had a funny friend. And he was usually funnier than me. And but I would instigate. I was a writer. I'd say, hey, go ahead, do this or do that.
So it's natural for you. You just shit's just coming easy to you.
Yeah. And then you know, but I've been you know, I was on stage since I was playing for dances, you know, for parties when I was 8 years old in a country fiddle band, you know, fiddle player, and then like a family band. And so and then when I joined Army Cadets in Canada, that was like a poor man's vacation, you know, a poor kid's vacation. You know, if you join Army Cadets, you go to camp, you get $100 for 6 weeks. See, back in the 50s, that was a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. So, you know, so I've always been comfortable on stage, you know. But I was never one of those kids, you know, at school where, let Johnny, let's play your accordion, or we're going to have John, you know. I was never one of those guys. In fact, I grew up with kids, they had no idea that I was who I was.
That's crazy. I was going to ask you if you played any other instruments other than guitar earlier.
Not really. You know, I started so young that
I play percussion. That's why I asked that. Yeah.
Did you play?
Yeah, I play percussion. Growing up, I don't play no more. I'm probably terrible right now. My chops are probably trash. But yeah, growing up, I did for sure.
My youngest son went to Boulder and got a degree in percussion.
Damn.
Yeah, so he plays drums.
He's good.
And my other son, Paris, he plays bass. So we got a killer trio. We got a killer trio. We call ourselves Chong and the Family Stoned.
Chong and the Family Stoned.
Yeah, that's the name of our band. No, you know, I always got paid one way or another for playing. Yeah, you know, there's a difference, and it was always a job to me. And then it became a really, really good job. And then the comedy took over, man. Can you imagine walking on stage without nothing but the microphone? And then making all that money.
Shoot, man. That's the American dream right there.
And say thank you very much. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Have a nice ride home.
I'm a musician myself. I'm a rapper. I make music myself. So, you know what I'm saying? I
Oh, good.
I fucking love it. Yeah, hell yeah. Y'all won a
Nothing like
Grammy.
it.
Y'all won a Grammy. Y'all won a
Yep.
Grammy. For the
Yeah. Los
Los Chinos.
Cochinos.
Oh,
Yeah.
Los Cochinos.
We
Tell
we
me about
should
that.
have
How was that?
we should have won a Grammy for every record. They were all really good. But what it was, if you the first year you're not going to win because you're the new kid on the block. The
I already
second
know.
year, this other guy, this other guy that was in line, they
Yeah,
had to give him one. And then by the time they got around to us, it was our third album, but we won a Grammy. Yeah,
that's what's
yeah,
up, man.
yeah. And
Uh,
no, it was nice. It was nice. It
yeah.
was really nice uh, when we came to LA. Remember a group called the Three Dog Night?
I think I read about him a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. You're probably
Tell
too
me a little
young.
bit more about. Yeah, I probably don't
Well,
know.
Three Dog Night. They did a lot of Elton John songs, and they did a lot. They're a
All
cover
right.
band, kind of, and they're very popular back in the day, in the '60s.
Mhm.
Uh, the drummer, the only black drummer in the band, was my brother-in-law. I was married to his
Yeah.
sister, Maxine,
Yeah.
and this is Floyd. Well, Floyd came to Vancouver when Cheech and I were starting up, and so we met all the Three Dog Night managers in that. And so when we came to LA to try to make it as comedians, the Three Dog Night managers took over, and they were going to be our managers. But
Yeah.
they're like, well,
Different time.
they didn't know anything about comedy, but they knew everything about music. And so
Yeah.
we they tried to what those managers did, let you do all the work, and then when the money comes in, then they step in, and then they take take money for shit they didn't do.
Facts.
So so
That's the
so
game, though.
we ended up breaking up with them. And so
Get
when
fuck
you
out of
said
here.
about the first album we did after we
Yeah.
broke up, we met him on the elevator at the Grammys.
Oh shit.
We met our ex-manager who let us go.
Yep.
They said, okay,
What
if,
goes around comes around.
I asked for some money, and I needed some money because we were riding a scooter to all the gigs, and I wanted to buy a car, cheap car. So I asked him for $500, and they said, "No, I couldn't do it." So they give us the contract back. And the next time we saw him was in the elevator going up to
At
the
the
Grammys.
Grammy.
Yeah, and we're
Amazing.
we had made it.
Tell me, tell me a little bit about your first experiences with cannabis, man. When was the first time you smoked all over
It was in a jazz club in Calgary, Alberta.
in Calgary?
I was 17,
Mhm.
16, 17. Yeah, I was 17.
I was about
Um,
16, 17 when I first smoked. Sorry,
yeah,
mom. Don't
and
go for it.
I, a Chinese bass player, Raymond Ma.
Yeah, the fire.
He showed up. He showed up at the jazz club, and he had a Lenny Bruce record and a joint, and he gave me. It was like, here's a present for you.
Yeah,
And so I put the joint in my pocket, and so then he lit up his own joint too,
right,
and I took a toke. It was the first toke I ever done of pot.
right there.
Changed my life. Changed my life.
Changed your
I
life.
can tell you the tune. I was listening to Ornette Coleman playing a tune called "Lonely Woman," and it was
You
being
got
played
a
on.
distinctive memory, man.
Man. They say you lose your memory. I can remember every detail of that night.
I
And then
love it.
that night, then the next day I went home, and then I got the whole joint. I lit a little bit, took a toke, put it out, listened to Lenny Bruce. That joint lasted me for a month. And
Damn.
and by the time I finished
You
that
hit,
joint,
take 2 hits, put it out. Wait,
yeah.
take
And
two
then
hits, put it out.
the next thing I did, I quit school. I was
Yeah,
I was trying to get my GED, and it was my second try, and I wasn't doing very good. I was in
okay.
that class. I was in that class where it's like automotive, or ditch digging repair or something.
Yeah,
And I said, I want to be a musician. Man. I don't
right.
want to be. I don't want to be anything else. And so then I quit school, and here I am.
Look at that. So I heard that you have your own strain called Chong's Choice.
Oh yeah. People ask me all the time. I say my favorite strain is cannabis or marijuana or Motown.
Yeah, something,
Yeah,
some fire
that's
shit.
all.
I just want some fire.
Well, when I was in prison, I learned I could get high just thinking about it. Seriously,
It's a state of mind.
I could just think about it. In fact, I can do it now sometimes, because being high is body memory. You see,
Sure.
that's why you can smell it, and you get what they call contact high. It's body memory. Your body remembers that smell, and boom, all the good things that comes with it. I'm just trying to figure out if I should get high or not. I always do this.
Light up. This is called lighting up.
You know what I do? You know what I do when I'm doing podcasts? I always lose my phone. And you know why?
Oh shit. I got mine today. You sound like me. I always got my shit. I'm trying to do better.
I lose mine because I'm looking at it.
We're trying to go through hell trying to get that thing on, wasn't we?
I'll be looking for my phone and it's stuck there.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about FOUR20THREE65 and what we stand for. What we do is we're a lifestyle brand. We pretty much just promoting positivity, pretty much just saying that, stoners can still be productive in society and maintain. We're creatives. We're more than just a stigma of, just getting high and doing dumb shit. So that's really what we're on. It's our second birthday coming up on this 420 this year. We've been in existence for about a year now. We got our own grinders, rolling trays, papers. Holy shit. That's beautiful.
Isn't that nice?
That's beautiful. Yeah.
That's for lazy stoners.
What is that called? What is that called? That's just
It's a blower.
It's a blower.
I don't know, man.
Pretty. God damn.
This the guy that made it gave it to me.
Yeah.
He wants me to endorse him. I probably will, because it's so cool. Because you don't have to do anything. You push a button and I think I'm out of battery. Oh no, there we go. Yeah. And then it lights itself. I'm out of smoke now. But it's this will probably be one of my products. It's like a blower or something. I don't know.
That's dope.
Anyway,
that's super dope. So how did you so throughout the years, how did you stay focused, and how did you stay away from like overindulgence of getting high? Is there such a thing? How did you maintain? How did you get through your adversity, your hardships and shit? Right?
Before I started smoking, even I was bodybuilding.
No shit.
Because I tried to, when I tried to play hockey or play football, I was too skinny, and so when I started training for football, man, I really got into the exercise part, a lot more than the playing football part. I really like the exercise part, because playing football, if you're not a star, you're not playing. You're sitting around. You're on the bench. You're watching.
Ain't doing shit.
And so I got into the exercise, and then I really got in. Then when I started playing music and meeting bouncers at the clubs and that, the bodybuilders, they were the ones that inspired me to go to the gym and stuff like that. And so I joined gyms real early, and I was like a bodybuilder.
So definitely like a physical mind, body, spirit type of thing. Like
absolutely
staying on top of your physical regimen, making sure that do you meditate at all? Or did you do anything like, did you meditate at all or anything like that?
Meditate? I've kind of past it. I went past meditation. I found out an easier way to do it.
I got a couple ideas about what you're gonna say. Tell me what you're gonna say. I got a couple of things.
Okay, I'll tell you what you do. This can be done anytime. The most powerful word in the world ever. And it didn't matter what language is. There's one word that's so powerful that countries like America has wrote their constitution around it, around this word. And when you go to court or anywhere and you got to put your hand on the Bible, you swear it to God. God is the most potent word in the world. And all you have to do to activate that word in your life is think about it. You don't have to chant. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is change your thoughts. Whatever negative thought you got or whatever thought you have, and then substitute it with God. And there's no judgment of who God is, what God is, or anything, and none of that stuff. There's no question. What it is, we all have a God app. And what we do, what they do in church and what they do everywhere, they activate that God app. And that's what causes people to get euphoric and get happy and cause good things to happen to you. Because we are put here to behold and to enjoy the riches of the earth. And the only way you can do that is by acknowledging whose earth it is. You know? And so you don't have to do much more than just know in your mind. And so what I do instead of meditating, I used to try to meditate, but I usually fall asleep.
I feel what you're saying. It's
So
past this, it's past that at a certain level. You know what I'm saying? So I feel that.
Yeah. So it's a thought. It's a thought. And then what I tell people when I do cameos in that, I said, they're depressed in that. I said, well, when you first thing when you wake up in the morning, fill yourself up with love. Because see, love is
wake up.
That's what the spirit world is made of. The spirit, when you go into the spirit world, it is just made out of love. That's the only substance in the spirit world. That's why anybody, no matter how evil or how bad you are, your sins can be white as snow. If all you do is think in your mind, change your mind, because it's your mind that's controlling everything. And so when your mind is on the right path, then everything good will happen to you. And that's all you have to do. And that's what I learned. And I learned that real early. No, I'm not perfect by no means. I've messed up here and there, but that's where comedy comes in, because if you can laugh at yourself, that is such a joy, because what you're actually doing is that you're forgiving yourself. When you've made when you've done anything bad and you laugh at
music
it,
too, it's like that too.
And if you laugh at it, then you forgive yourself. And because that's another what you have to learn is to forgive and forget. See, if you got a problem with somebody, don't dwell on it. Forgive them if you can. If you can, absolutely, you do it. Forgive them, even if they owe you money or anything like that. If you can just say, "I forgive you," and then what happens is you free them. They're no longer bound to you one way or another, through hate or through anger or through. See, we get connected that way.
We got a slogan. It's love, not hate. You know what I'm saying? So that's really what we representing. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the kind of message that we pushing right now. So that was perfect what you said.
And that's the easiest thing in the world to do, because it's so easy, and that we were made that way. See, the signs are all there. We were given everything. We were the message, the word. I read different spiritual books. When I went to prison, I used it as like a retreat, religious retreat. And I joined the Sweat Lodge, the Native Sweat Lodge. I was invited to all the different religions when they had a dinner, going away party, which is a thing that they did in prison. And these were very intelligent people that were in there because it's a camp, like Madoff went to. And so I had a whole 9 months of intense studying. And studying meant, reading Joe Goldsmith, different spiritual books, the Bible, Emmett Fox. There's a writer called Emmett Fox. He explains the Bible in such a way that you go, wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know that, and there's different words in the Bible. They don't mean what they say. It's sort of a metaphor to what you're talking about. Whenever they talk about mountains, in the Bible, the mount this or mount that, or Moses went up to the mountain, or Jesus went up to the mountain, and the mountain really is your consciousness. Where you go up to the quiet place in your consciousness. That's called the Most High, and when you dwell in that consciousness at that level, then all the riches of the universe is open to you, and that's why
the higher level of thinking. Yeah,
that's right. That's that's when the songs, like I'm a writer, but I don't really write. I copy down what is told to me.
I don't know where it comes from.
You don't know. And then when people say different things, or like my son, he said, get off the sauce, talking about the drinkers, the guys with the drinking problem. He said, you got to get off the sauce and get on the cannabis. And so all of a sudden I heard a James Brown song there, get off the sauce, get on the cannabis. So I wrote a whole song called Get Off the Sauce and Get on the Cannabis. Cannabis will take you where you need to go,
Talk about it. That's a fact.
So that's a little bit of the world that I discovered when I was in jail. I'd always known about it. I was telling my son just a minute ago here, there was a time when this is in 1968. No, this was 68. This was in 1970. Yeah, wow, that was a short time. 1970. I was laying on the beach in Venice, and I was picturing my life the way it is today. Now, I had nothing on the beach, nothing, just a little room to stay in. And I'm laying on the beach, and I'm projecting my thoughts to me laying beside a pool in the Palisades, gorgeous house, everything, including the girlfriend who was my wife at the time. Now, us being here, and the other was yesterday. All of a sudden, I said, "Wow, it really happened," because I went back to that time when I was thinking about it on the beach, and now this is a reality, and that's what I found out, that you can be whatever you can dream. That's how easy it is.
Whatever you want to be. There's no limits. Possible, like it's cliche as fuck, but really impossible really is nothing.
But you can't, if you get sidetracked. Sometimes you get sidetracked for a reason. There's a reason. Like I never went straight from the beach to here. There was like 50 years in
roadblocks
between.
And shit. Yeah, hell yeah.
There's a lot of years in between. Then we went here, went there, worked here, did this, did that.
You gain wisdom though.
And here we are. Yeah. And that's another secret. Someone asked me.
You giving all the jewels and the diamonds and shit. We got an album called Runaway Diamonds and shit. And so we like to say when we dropping knowledge and shit like that, we call it, dropping jewels or diamonds or whatever. So that what you drop. You just drop some diamonds on it, for sure.
Yeah.
What's a famous person that you couldn't believe you shared a joint with? What's somebody who's like, I can't believe I'm smoking with this person right now? Or is there
Probably,
anybody?
probably George Harrison of the Beatles.
George Harrison of the Beatles?
Yeah, him and I, we became pretty good friends because he's a guitar player, I'm a guitar player, and we were both in the same studio. And then I met him at a party, and next thing I know, we're smoking up. But I was in a room. I was in a room one time, at a party when Cheech and I first signed up with Lou Adler. I went into Lou's house, and I asked Lou. I said, "Where can I smoke this big old stinky fatty joint of mine?" And he says, "Go in my bedroom."
Come in the function. I can't smoke.
Yeah, so go in the bedroom. I said, "Okay." So I'm in the bedroom, and I lit up, and I look over, and there's John Lennon sitting on the floor, on the bed, not on the bed, but on the floor. And I said, I walked over, "John, how you doing?" "Hey, man." Hey, I offered him a joint. He goes, "Oh, I can't do it, man, because of immigration problems." And then no more than I turn around, and Rod Stewart walks in, and he's in the mirror, flossing his hair. And so I offered Rod Stewart a token. He turned it down because of his voice. But it was one of those stinky joints, that I would hesitate to smoke out of. No, I wouldn't. No, I'd be smoking it. But
you ever counted how many joints you've ever smoked in a day? What's the most you ever smoked in a day?
Not much. I'm not a big smoker. Not a big. I know. I'm like when I first started. I only had that one joint, so I was very, very careful with it. And I've never lost that habit. Because you see that pipe I did. That's the most I've ever wasted on weed. Usually I'm token.
Me, you smoke a big 420 today, so that was lit. That was all right. I appreciate that, Tommy. That's what's up. I think my team. I think we sent you some merch out there already. If not, we want to send you some more shit. Some of our, at least like a T-shirt.
I love.
Like I said, grinders. We got some rolling papers and all that kind of good shit. So we definitely wanted to send you some stuff, man.
I like the T-shirts for sure.
Okay, I'll send you a T-shirt.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely. Which size you wear, man? We'll get all that shit.
XL.
Later, man. XL. I got you, dog. Don't even worry about it. I got you. We're gonna sign off, Tommy.
Brother.
We are so happy and honored and blessed to have you today, man. We talked about a lot of good shit. Like I said, subscribe, like, share. Thanks for having me, Tommy.
Anytime,
and smoking
brother.
with me too. Hell
let's
man.
do it again.
I'll talk to you soon.